Talking late night, raw paper, late flights, young barracuda watching for them gray whites, way bright stage lights, they might just take the pipe if I play it right, aim tight, go bananas, take a bite, hold the hammers, might take your life in your pajamas, play it right and take a hike to Alabama, I'm gone. I be in and out the spot, I ain't got no time to talk, nigga, I'm gone. I be on and off the road, I be living like a boss, nigga, I'm gone. Shawty do it like a pistol, knock the pussy out the park, nigga, I'm gone. We been racing to the money, I been winning from the start, nigga, I'm gone.
As the founder of Immjuss LLC, I am proud to offer services that can help improve your mood and overall quality of life. I understand the importance of self-care and mental health. I have dedicated my time to discovering how art, music, and smells can help bring joy into people's lives. Immjuss LLC offers a wonderful collection of paintings, extraordinary scented candles made with natural herbs and flowers, consulting services for advice and listening, as well as moon water. Visit immjussllc.com. No matter your needs or desires, you'll find something special here.
What's up, you guys? It's your good sis. Okay, I still have, let me turn that music down a little bit. I still want it for the ambiance, but I'm gonna turn it down some. Let me see. That's nice. All right, I still have the giveaway going on, you guys. If you go to my description, I have where you can purchase a candle. I am doing a giveaway, and it will be on the 20th, not the 19th, the 20th. And I'm giving away a $150 Amazon gift card. And all you have to do to be a part of that is to purchase a candle. But it's going to be a large percentage of the proceeds from the candle is going to go to feed 3 families this Christmas for Christmas dinner. I'm gonna give them their whole Christmas dinner. I'm feeding them everything but the drinks. And also it's going to go towards giving the same families a gift card. So if you want to be a part of the drawing, go ahead and click the link below. Okay, so now I did my little commercial. I want to talk about some human experiments. I had I had I had this live scheduled for a while ago, but then I was like, let me, because my last channel I used to do this stuff on, y'all. They hit me. They hit me. So I was like, let me try to do this in a way where as though I give y'all enough information and it doesn't look all conspirator. So I decided I was going to tell y'all what they wanted to tell y'all to an extent, because your good sis I still gotta try to keep it real. So the first two human experiments that I have, they said are not real. They said these first two human experiments is just a creepy pasta story. Let me tell you about creepy pasta. Let me take this out of my ear because it's distracting me. Before I do that, let me say hi, CC, hi, Sharice, sis, and hi, Felicia. Hey, boobs. Let me put it up here. Hey, you guys, how y'all doing? How y'all doing? I see you, boo. But my good clean sis. So let me tell you about creepypasta. In my opinion, this is your good sister's opinion, okay? They full of it. I love their stories though. I'm not gonna hold you. I watch the heck out their stories. But I do believe that a lot of their stories is built on truth. However, if they don't want it to come out, they'll just say, oh, it's fiction, it's not real, it's fake. All right. Just like how they have when you look up Wakanda, when you look up Moors, when you look up that stuff, movies come up instead of actual historical facts, you get movies. And that's another way of kind of hiding, the history. So these first two, they said they're not real. However, I'm going to still tell them to you because I'm not going to hold you. I ain't going to hold you. I'm going on with them. Hey, D, how you doing? Hi, brother. All right, so let's get it going with the Russian sleep experiments. That's the first one I'm going to talk about. So, and I'm reading it from the wiki. So, the Russian sleep experiment is a creepypasta which tells the tale of 5 test subjects being exposed to an experimental sleep, and that means they're not given sleep, being sleep deprived, and being fed stimulants in a Soviet era scientific experiment, which has become the basis of an urban legend. Child, you know what they say about urban legends, y'all. Many new organizations, including Snopes, News.com, AEU, and Live About, trace the story origins to a website not known as the Creepypasta Wiki, being posted on August 10th, 2010, by a user named Orange Soda, whose real name is unknown. They tried to dox him. This is the plot, y'all. The story recounts an experiment set in 1947 at a covert Soviet testing facility where scientists give test subject a stimulant gas, which will prevent them from sleeping. As the experiment progressed, it is shown that the lack of sleep transforms the subjects into violent zombies. Okay, so this is what they're not telling you. Because I've read the story. So what happened was it wasn't like test subjects, they were prisoners of war. They took 5 prisoners of war, they put them in this room, and they kept feeding them like gas to make them stay awake. After 3 days of being fed that gas, they went crazy. And so they were screaming, hooping and hollering and yelling, saying they were seeing stuff, and then all of a sudden everything went quiet. When everything went quiet, they went in there because they believed that the people had passed. But when they went in there, they had saw that the men inside of the cell started scratching their skin off, and there was just a shell of what they once were. And then they begged the scientists to close the door back. They wanted to stay there. They did not want to leave. They enjoyed it there. So I believe like 2 of them did some things to themselves to where they're no longer on the earthly realm, and they got the other ones out. and they was trying to reverse it. They was trying to reverse what they had done, but they couldn't. And they end up having to put them to sleep. All of them. It was sad. But however, they're saying that this is not a real story. This didn't happen. And yeah, that's what they're saying. All right, so let's get to the next one, y'all. The next one they said is also a creepypasta, y'all. They said this one also is not real. It's a story from the creepypasta. And you know what's crazy is that these stories, they're saying that they're creepypasta stories. They didn't say, oh, this is just a legend, a folklore. It's really wild how they could put all of these back to creepypasta, which kind of makes me think creepypastas on the government payroll. Look, it's just, I'm just thinking. It's just me and my mind right here. All right. This is the Abigail Project. So, it says, note, this creepypasta has been translated from Spanish to English. So, July 14th of 2003 is the exact date which the U.S. government officially revealed the existence of a mysterious Area 51 base. All right. And it says Area 51 is one of the topics and that inspire most of the conspiracy theories around the world. Many would give anything just to be able to get a little closer and a glimpse, even at a portion of what is actually inside. One of the experiments in the history was the Abigail Project. This story was leaked by a former cleaner who worked at a site in question. Now, mind you, what I'm reading is the story that they translated from Spanish to English about the United States. Ciao. All right, so after World War II, it had ended. At this time, Area 51 operated under the name Indian Springs Air Force Auxiliary Camp. According to our source, the base has been built for the development and for safekeeping of advanced weapons. You know what's crazy? I think I heard that too. I heard that too somewhere a long time ago. That's what Area 51 was for. Advanced weapons, and some of them look like UFOs, and that's why they always say, oh my God, there's UFOs out there. And what actually crashed wasn't a UFO, but it was an advanced weapon technology that the government was working for. That I just heard that. I just heard it, y'all. I'm just saying. I don't know. Allegedly, conspiracy theory, but that's what I heard. All right, so it all started in 1945 after World War II has ended. Oh, I already read that. I'm sorry. The base continued this purpose until, in the midst of the Cold War and the constant threat of war with the Soviet Union, the government approved the use of the base for biological experiments. The government considered the development of biological weapons crucial to maintain its world hegemony and arms superiority over other nations. This is how one of the most important and best reputed scientists of the place, Albert Western, decided to start his project, whose main objective was to create a super soldier. Y'all, they said this was fake. So Dr. Western desired the kind of Captain America, extremely strong and robust, whose wounds healed quickly and could withstand extreme fatigue, harsh conditions, and very long periods without eating or drinking. Y'all, did I turn my camera back on? I don't think I turned my camera back on. I'm sorry, y'all. I was eating. Y'all, let me tell y'all this, because you know what's crazy is that they say that. However, they really do have super soldiers. So where were they doing the experiment to actually get a super soldier? Child, they want you to believe that these things just came out of air. All right, let's keep going. All right, what was that? Dr. Western, carry out such crazy visions were not clear. So no one was willing to offer themselves as a guinea pig for the project, whose methodology was not defined and received who knows how many kinds of hold on, where the hell is the commas and periods? What's going on? Oh my gosh, hold on. All right, let's start this over. All right, unfortunately, The procedure to carry out such a crazy vision was not clear. Okay, now I see them. So no one was willing to offer themselves as a guinea pig for the project, whose methodology was not defined and received who knows how many kinds of substances and mutations in order to help Weston's fulfill his dream. It was almost the S word, hurting yourself. In addition to this, the person experimented on had to be somewhat of a complete confidence. That means they have to trust the doctor, they have to trust him to begin with before they start shooting them up with all the crap. It says, without friends or family who were able to denounce the project publicly and, sue the base or the government of the United States. So he wanted someone who trusted him and wouldn't sue. The first option was those prisoners, and he was like, nah, because they don't have that, like they're not going to listen. But he said he needed a completely healthy individual with excellent physical and moral condition. Like they need to be morally right. So that man said, let me get my child. He got his kid, y'all. That's what he did. His kid named Abigail, his daughter named Abigail. All right. It was Abigail Western was a young university student who studied to follow in her father's footsteps and perhaps become one day an Area 51 scientist like him. And they said he loved his daughter, y'all. He loved the heck out of her. The girl underwent all kinds of surgery and implants, and she took and substance tests. She was mutated, drugged, and exposed to torture. But he loved her. Though. Child. You know what I'm saying? That's after she agreed to be the project. That's how much she trusted her daddy. Nobody saw how all those humiliations were going to develop the supposed super soldier that Western intended, but the changes began to take note after a while. Abigail's appearance had changed drastically. Her bones had grown enormously, but the skin had stretched a lot too, so that it looked wrinkled on her all elongated limbs. Her teeth were also grown. Child, her teeth had came out all crazy. Look, and then she started acting more like an animal and not like a person. So all that morality went out the window. It was gone. So after he seen I'm just going, because I know the story by heart. So I'm gonna just give you a little synapse. After he seen what had happened to his daughter, he got really hurt and upset because it didn't work. You just messed your daughter up. You made her into a whole lot of Here's the picture right here. Abigail was all messed up. Look. So after he seen what he done did to his kid, he was like, I can't live no more. I can't do this. And he harmed himself. And he wrote a letter saying, just don't kill my baby, please. And they was like, all right, bet. We're not going to kill her. We'll just not feed her. Okay. She just won't eat under our care. And so, you know what I'm saying? They just stopped feeding her. So after a while, they went back to see if she had, transcended. And she knocked their butts out and fled. She was like, she done killed 2 guards, knocked the other 2 out. You know what I'm saying? She was going to knock out the janitor, but I guess, she was like, why would I do that? I don't know what happened with the janitor. He lived to tell the story, apparently, because that's who wrote this in Spanish. And so, then she escaped. And she's been living out there ever since. I honestly think the only thing that's not honest about that story is the ending. I don't believe that she escaped and lived happily ever after out in Area 51 somewhere. I believe that is the part of the story that they made up, and that was the part of the story that was not, wasn't true. Hey Keyshawn, boo, how you doing? Yeah, it is. It was wild. Yeah, let me tell you, look, I did those 2 first because they said that those 2 were the stories that weren't real. They said them 2 was the fake stories, y'all. They weren't real at all. That's what they telling us. So I'm gonna try to get past it, get through these pretty quick. All right. So our next one, y'all, is called the Monster Study. I'm sorry. I got my lips chapped. The monster study was a stuttering experiment performed on 22 orphans. Now look, this is real. This isn't no wiki. This is real. This isn't fake. So, the monster study was a stuttering experiment performed on 22 orphans in Davenport, Iowa in 1939. It was conducted by Wendell Johnson at the University of Iowa. Okay, and he had his little graduate student Murray helping him. And so the experiment was kept hidden for fear Johnson's reputation would be tarnished in the wake of human experiments conducted by the Nazis during World War II. You know, kind of like the one that I just read, Abigail, that they said wasn't real. Oh, child. The University of Iowa publicly apologized for the monster study in 2001. However, Patricia, the University of Iowa assistant professor of speech and pathology, what'd she do? He says his largest collection of scientific information. You know, it's always one. It's like, but. All right, this is the study, y'all. This is what they did. This is what they did. So the researchers had 4 questions in mind when they carried out the study. Will removing the label stutter from those who have been labeled to have will it have an effect on their speech and their fluency? So if someone stuttered, but if you stop telling them they stutter and they sound fine, would they be, would it fix their speech? The second question was, will telling somebody that they do stutter that never stuttered, will that therefore affect their speech? All right, so, or let me see, what is it? Endorsing the label stutter previously applied to an individual. Oh no, okay, hold on, wait, no, I messed up. The first one was, will telling somebody that do stutter that they don't, will that affect their speech? Then the second one is, will endorsing a stuttering person's stutter affect their speech? The third, what, Pooh? My grand cat. What you want? What you want to hear meowing about? Get your life. The third one is, will endorsing a normal speaking person previously applied to an individual have any effect on its fluency? And will labeling a person previously regarded as a normal speaker as a stutterer have any effect on their speech and fluency? So those are the 4 questions. Okay. Child. It says the research began when the selection of 22 subjects from a Black person veteran orphanage in Iowa. When I drink something and it splashed back on me. Y'all hear that? The research began with a selection of 22 subjects from a Black person's veterans orphanage in Iowa. None were told the intent of her research, and they believed they were receiving speech therapy. Y'all see that? Tutors was trying to induce stuttering in healthy children and to see whether telling stutterers that their speech was fine would produce a change in their speech. Including among the 22 were 10 orphans whom teacher and matrons had marked as stutterers before the study began. The tutor had 5 other graduate students who agreed to serve as judges. So look, there's they graded them from scale 1 poor to 5 fluent and current with the school assessments. 5 were assigned to group 1A, the experiment set, and was told that their speech was fine. And group 1B, the control group, which was told their speech is as bad as people say. That's just as bad as people say. They're stutterers. The remaining 12 children was chosen at random from a population of normally fluent orphans. 6 of these were assigned to 2A, and those children were from age 5 to 15 and were told their speech was horrible. They were normal speakers and that they were beginning to stutter. Okay, and they needed to correct it immediately. All right, and then you got 2B, is similar in ages 2A, and was normal speakers who was treated as such and given compliments on their nice speech. Now, what they found out, let's go down. Does it say no? All right. Well, let me tell you what they found out in the study was that telling children who spoke normally, well, both of the students who got negative reinforcements, which is 1B and what is it? Was it 1B and 2A? They got negative reinforcements. Both of those children, it did not affect their speech, but it did affect the way that they acted in school. It affected their performance. It affected their IQ test. Their IQ test dropped. All right. So negative reinforcements, it did not mess with their speech at all. However, it did mess with their confidence. They became anxious. They got depression. They developed anger issues, and it was bad. It was bad what happened to them. The students who got positive reinforcements that were stutterers, their speech, kind of, they had more confidence to try to fix their speech. And the the stutterers who was told their speech was as bad as is, I told you, they got worse behavioral wise, not speech wise, behavioral wise. And the kids that got praised for having excellent speech, their confidence boomed. So what they found was just by giving kids negative reinforcements, even if it was about their speech, it affected their behavior and how the children that was given negative reinforcement, they stopped interacting with their friends because they didn't want to talk. They didn't want to socialize because they kept being told that they sounded terrible. So yeah, that's the monster study, y'all. All right, so let's get to the next one. You're good, sis. I gotta fly through these, y'all. Hold on. The little Albert experiment, y'all. Let me do a quick little commercial break. Don't forget, y'all, get y'all candles. Because I got a giveaway coming up on the 20th. So get y'all candles. Let me do my little. All right.
As the founder of Immjuss LLC, I am proud to offer services that can help improve your mood and overall quality of life. I understand the importance of self-care and mental health. I have dedicated my time to discovering how art, music, and smells can help bring joy into people's lives. Immjuss LLC offers a wonderful collection of paintings, extraordinary scented candles made with natural herbs and flowers, consulting services for advice and listening, as well as moon water. Visit immjussllc.com. No matter your needs or desires, you'll find something special here. As the founder of Immjuss LLC, I am proud to offer services that can help improve your mood and overall quality of life. I understand the importance of self-care and mental health. I have dedicated my time to discovering how art, music, and smells can help bring joy into people's lives. Immjuss LLC offers a wonderful collection of paintings, extraordinary scented candles made with natural herbs and flowers, consulting services for advice and listening, as well as moon water. Visit immjussllc.com. No matter your needs or desires, you'll find something special here. As the founder of Immjuss LLC, I am proud to offer services that can help improve your mood and overall quality of life. I understand the importance of self-care and mental health. I have dedicated my time to discover.
What's up, guys? So go ahead, get yourself a candle. The link should be in the description to order candles, right, dog? I think I did that. And yeah. So let's go on to the next. On to the next. Well, she said, dang, she looked like those characters. Like, yeah, she looked crazy. So obviously decreased because of negative reinforcements. So they didn't want to speak up for themselves because they didn't want to speak because they was like, dang, I sound like that. Child, yes. All right. So let's get to little Albert. The little Albert experiment was a study that mid-20th century psychologists interpreted as evidence of classical conditioning. Classical condition to me is really important. Like it started with a dog experiment, and let me tell you, like positive, classical conditioning. What they did with the dog was they would ring a bell, bing, and they would feed the dog. And so every time, after a while of just conditioning the dog to know food is coming after the bell, they every time they would ring the bell, the dog would start saliving, even without the smell of food, to know That food is coming, y'all, because he said I didn't heard the bell, y'all. You ain't got to show me the bits. I heard the bell. Now bring me my kibble. That was I mean, I'm not gonna hold you. Classical conditioning, um, it has formed. It's a part of what a lot of people do today. A lot of people today are classically conditioned in a way that if you hear something or you see something, you know what's coming next. Like y'all watch a TV or a show. What is it? Law and Order. You hear the doom doom. You know what's on there. You know what's coming up. So if you watch something, and that's one of the, and they use it in marketing. They use classical conditioning in marketing because you know that if you hear or you see a certain like it's mostly audio. It's visual too, but audio is, people tend to remember audio more. Like if you hear a certain thing, like with Sean, Holy Spirit acting, you know who it is. Classical condition, it's marketing, y'all. When I tell you, if you know a lot of the psychological tricks that marketing used. So this was an experiment on classical conditioning. However, what they wanted to do is they wanted to take and let me tell you, hold on. It was a study in the mid 20th century. Psychologists interpreted as evidence of classical conditioning in humans. Okay. So it was John B. Watson and his graduate student Rosaline. If you ever noticed, all these people have at Johns Hopkins University, all these men, they always have the graduate student as a woman. Why don't I never ever see this as a girl? All right, so after observing children in their field, Watson hypothesized that the fearful response of a child to loud noise and an innate and conditioning response. He wanted to test the notion that by following the principles of the procedure known as classical condition, he could use the unconditioned response to condition a child to fear. All right, let me put that in regular people's voice. By using the classical conditioning, like the dog and the bell and the food, he wanted to prove to people that by using a kid and a loud noise that does not sound good, he can condition that kid to have fears that he didn't have before. Y'all get it? Okay. So he can put a phobia into a child by using classical conditioning. So let's see what he done did to little Albert. Okay. So the method was that before the experiment, Albert was given a battery of baseline emotional tests. The infant was exposed briefly and for the first time to a white rabbit. I need you guys to keep this in mind. And the reason why I did this before I started like breaking down movies and stuff is because they use a lot of symbolic stuff, especially in Us and Get Out. So listen. First time to a white rabbit, a white rat, a white rabbit, a dog, a monkey, a mask, with and without hair, cotton wool, burning newspaper, and other stimuli. Albert showed no fear of any of these items during the baseline test. For the experiment proper, by which Albert was 11 months old, he was on a mattress on a table in the middle of the room. A white laboratory rat was placed near Albert, and he was allowed to play with it. At this point, Watson, the man and the woman, made a loud sound behind Albert. He scared the hell out the baby. Okay, what they do? Oh, they put a hammer. Look, they hit a hammer and a steel bar. Each time the baby touched the rat, each time the baby went to go pet the rat, they took a hammer and a steel bar. Boom! Ain't nobody gonna get no sleep because of me. They did that every time Albert went to touch the rat. They scared the hell out the damn baby. You know what I'm saying? They were like, So look, let me tell you. So and after they did that, Albert started associating the noise and being afraid with the rat. You see what I'm saying? Because they only banged them together when he touched the rat. So classical conditioning, he associated being scared with the rat. So let me see. After several such pairings of the two stimuli, Albert was presented with only the rat. Upon seeing the rat, he became very distressed, crying and crawling away. I would too. So they done made that man terrified. All right, terrified. So look, let me see. Originally given a noise. In further experiments, little Albert seemed to generalize. This is the part that was really messed up. He seemed to generalize his response to the white rat, and he became distressed at the sight of anything that was white and furry, bitch. You couldn't even have lint near little Albert. Little Albert was going off. He ain't want no haps with nothing white and nothing fuzzy. He ain't want nothing to do with none of that. Albert was about a year old at the end of a science experiment. So they did this for what, 2 months? 2 months they scared the hell out of this baby? And reportedly left the hospital shortly thereafter. Though Watson had discussed what might be done to remove Albert's conditioning fears, he chose not to attempt such desensitization. So that means that Negro was scared of white furry things for the rest of his life. They put a phobia in this young boy that went till he was grown. Child. And they don't even know who he is. Look, it says Albert's mother worked in the same building as Watson and did not know the test was being conducted. When she found out, she took Albert and moved away, letting no one know where they were going. In 2009, a report, however, disputes that. What the report say? Hold on. The original report had stated the baby's mother was a wet nurse at the hospital who may have felt coerced and unable to turn down the request for her baby to be used as Watson's experiment. The claim of coercion was successfully challenged in the article published in the same journal. What? Shut up. Get out of here. So, yeah, that's what they did to little Albert, okay? Y'all, look, let's get to this next one. Child, let me see what y'all talk. If anybody say anything in the comments. Hey, y'all. Hey, Wayne. How you doing? Yes. Let me see. What you say? You said at this time it was challenging for women to pursue their doctorate degrees. So they with master's degrees became okay. I see. Hey, make this go. But hey, sis, how you doing? You say I was so upset for all about those female math geniuses with NASA. Yes. That's last. Hold on. Can I get there? I got a couple experiments. Let me get there. All right, this one is next. These are the ones y'all don't know about. See, did y'all know about these? All right. Look, let me tell you. The VPalm experiment and the VPalm study were a series of human experiments where patients of VPalm Hospital for the Intellectually Disabled in Lund, Sweden, they took special needs people, okay, were fed large amount of sweets, including extra sticky toffee to provoke dental cavities. In 1945 to they did it for 10 years. The experiments were sponsored. The experiment was sponsored by both the sugar industry and the dentist community in the effort to determine whether carbohydrates affect the formation of cavities. This experiment provided extensive knowledge about the dental health. I'm sorry, I don't care about that. Let me see. I don't even think they have. All right, it says the National Dental Service was established. I don't care about that. Medical Board Commission study on the subject will become the VPalm experiment. It was in Sweden facility for the uneducatable, the R word, special needs, and was chosen to be the site for the largest experiment ever ran on humans in Sweden at the time. Initially, VPalm employees were also part of the experiment. What begun in 1945 as government-sanctioned vitamin trials were converted in 1947 without the knowledge of the government. Is that true? You think so? In a consultation with the medical board, the researchers decided to substitute sugar for the vitamins. In 1947 to 49, a group of patients were used as subjects in a full-scale experiment designed to bring about tooth decay. They left them people with all the messed up teeth. Look, the sugar experiment lasted for 2 years. In 1949, the trials was revised again, now to test more normal carbohydrate-rich diet. By then, the teeth of about 50 of the 660 subjects in the experiment had been completely damaged. Nonetheless, the researchers felt that, scientifically speaking, the experiment was a success. Do you know how much pain them people were in? Do you know, have you ever had a cavity? Their whole mouth was destroyed, bro. Let's go to the next one, y'all. That was in Sweden. Right, let's go to the next one. I'm gonna try to read this, y'all. I tried to read it off before I came online. I was able to read some of it, so let's try this. New York was site of a secret CIA Army biological war test. Okay. I got this from, it's called New York was a site. This is CIA Army. I got this from CIA.gov. A lot of the articles I'm getting from like Wiki, or I'm getting from CIA, or like Washington Post. Something that they can't say that what I'm doing is conspiracy theories. Okay. They can't say that, because I'm getting this from y'all. Okay. So, it says the independent journal published by the Search of Scientology in 1979. Child, they be snitching. Look, it says approved for release in 2005, January 13th of 2005. CIA RDP 8. Look, they got the numbers up there. All right, it says the Central Intelligence Agency conducted 5. Let me make it bigger, because you're good, sir. All right. The Central Intelligence Agency conducted 5 consecutive days of covert biological warfare experiments in New York City in 1956 with the cooperation of U.S. Army personnel. This and other previously unknown biological tests were discovered during a 4-month investigation of CIA documents previously released under the Freedom of Information Act. Y'all, that's where I be getting all my information from. I be looking. The following is the first part of what researchers from American Citizens for Honesty, what they discovered. For 6 consecutive days in 1950, a U.S. Navy ship cruised off the coast of San Francisco, exposing over 800,000 people in the Bay Area to daily clouds of bacteria. Shortly after the test, doctors south of San Francisco noted an unusual a number amount of pneumonia among some of their public whom subsequently died. When the first story about the San Francisco test was exposed, a grandson of Palo Alto fatally recalled an article about an unusual pneumonia outbreak linking in the medical findings, which what was known about the test. Hold on, I'm sorry, y'all. It's hard to read. Other instances of open air tests on American cities have been cited, but little is known. According to a list provided on a Senate committee in 1977, over a dozen of U.S. cities were targets for harmless biological agents. One of the more bizarre conducted in 1966 when germ-laden light bulbs were dropped in New York City subway to test the effects of a covert biological attack. It is not known what health hazards induced. Well, New Yorkers are child. It is not known what no reports of the tests were ever released. According to the Senate report, the Army Special Operations Division conducted the vulnerability test agent selected sites. However, the report notes similar CIA projects were distinct from Army's because they involved the mating of delivery systems to lethal or incapacitating biological agents. In 1952, a secret agreement was reached between the CIA and the SOD at Fort Detrick, Maryland. The SOD was to assist the CIA in secretly developing, testing, and maintaining biological agents and the delivery system. The CIA code named the corporation Effort MKNAOMI. I'm not going to look. I don't even know why I track. According to a 1975 report of the Senate Intelligence Committee, it is fair to conclude from the type of weapons developed for the CIA CIA and from an extreme security associated with the project that the possibility of first use biological weapons by the CIA was contemplated. They also researched the possibilities of a large-scale covert use of biological weapons, but so far as the committee was able to determine, the capability was never tapped in by the Army, or how, the CIA documents didn't reveal. Okay. The material was found in a previously released CIA file along with among with the most heavily censored of the released by the agency under the Freedom Act. Okay, so they gave us the part where everything was redacted. They love redacting shit. Okay, the act of material consists almost entirely of receipts of activities and purchase made with the CIA funds. So they gave niggas receipts. So excuse me. I'm sorry. Y'all trying to read this is giving me a headache. I ain't gonna hold you. So they released in the Freedom of Information Act, they just gave people receipts, like a receipt with like purchases of the CIA funds on file. The money was being spent to support CIA activities being carried out with a unit at Fort Detrick, Maryland. The receipts stem from petty cash funds used by the CIA Army team. Some receipts are marked emergency to indicate that such goods could not be procured quickly enough. Child. Thus, in addition to severe censorship of the receipts, ACHG was also faced with the prospect that the file was only a partial reflection of the cash transactions and provided an incomplete picture of the CIA Army experiments. Child, this gave me a headache. I ain't gonna hold you. However, New York City was identified as the hub of the 1956 test through a $1.50 receipt. Child, they had to figure it out. Oh, child, my head hurt. I ain't gonna hold you. They had to figure it out. They figured out that they did that by a receipt. Child, that is crazy. Hold on. Let me see. Hold on. Let me see. And let me see. There's another one here where they say the U.S. government injected people with plutonium, but I honestly don't know how. I don't know how honest or real that one is. I'm not gonna hold y'all, and I don't want to put that on here because I really don't know. I didn't have time to really put all of that together to get a good understanding of like the who, what, where, when, and why, and all that other stuff to know if that was real or not. Because I'll tell y'all if it's not real, but I wasn't able to really do that. But they said that they was giving Americans plutonium to look at the effects that it had on people. I wouldn't put it past them. I ain't gonna hold you. All right, so this is the last one, y'all. This is the last one. I know I've been held y'all. How long I held y'all? Almost 50 minutes, y'all. Child, my head hurt. That thing made my head hurt. Trying to read that made my head hurt, y'all. I ain't gonna hold you. The United States Syphilis Study. And you know what's so crazy? They call this a study and not an experiment. I don't understand why they call this a study and not an experiment. And this is from the Center of Disease Control and Prevention. All right, so in 1932, the USPH, working with the Tuskegee Institute, began a study to record the natural history of syphilis. It was originally called the Tuskegee Study of the untreated syphilis in the Negro male. now referred to as the syphilis study. The study initially involved 600 black men, 399 with syphilis, 201 did not have the disease. Participants informed consent was not collected. Look how they hold on. I really don't like how they wrote this. Let me see if there's another one. I don't like the way they wrote that. I ain't gonna hold you. Hold on. Let me see. I don't like how they wrote that. I don't. Let me see if I can find something else. Cause I don't like that. They try to make it seem like it was something all nice and all. Oh, consent was not. I don't like the way they said that. I don't like the way they put none of that. I'm sorry, y'all. That shit was devastating, bro. Let's try this one. This is the History Channel. They probably ain't no better. The Tuskegee experiment began in 1932 at a time where there was no known cure for syphilis, a contagion venereal disease. After being recruited by the promise of free medical care, 600 African-American men in Macon County, Alabama were enrolled in the project, which aimed to, you see how they still not calling it an experiment, right? Which aimed to study the full progression of the disease. They lied. They said they were going to give them medical health care, and the people that didn't really have syphilis, they gave it to them and lied and said that they were going to treat them, and they watched them die. The participants were primarily sharecroppers, and many had never before visited a doctor. Guess where their land went? Guess what? Do you think that's a coincidence? You think that was a coincidence? Many had never before visited a doctor. A doctor from the U.S. Public Health Service, which was running the study, informed the participants that 399 men with latent syphilis and control group. So the doctor, they ain't never been to the doctor. So the doctor went to them and was like, yo, you got syphilis. And then there was 201 without it. They were being treated for y'all remember back in the day, bad blood? They were being treated for bad blood, a term commonly used in the area at the time to refer to various ailments. The men were monitored by health workers, not only given placebos such as aspirin. They gave them aspirin for syphilis and mineral supplements, despite the fact that penicillin became recommended for the treatment for syphilis in 1947. 15 years into the study, they studied these people for. Now, look, they had people known to have syphilis, right? They let them go out, have relations with other people. They watched this. This was a study. All the while having them think that they're fixing them and they're okay to spread it. The kids, man, this was devastating. And you say they never once called this experiment. This has a control. This has one variable that's a control, one variable that you experiment on, because the control was the 201. Then you have the ones that you experiment on was a 399, and best believe they didn't all have syphilis. No. All right. So then you have the placebos. The placebos was the placebos, they gave that to them to see what would happen when syphilis just go. But what's so messed up is that they never had a part of the experiment where they actually tried to cure the people. That's what makes this so messed up. In an experiment, you have the control, bloop, over there. Then you have the variables. The one of it where as though you try to change it, with an actual drug that might help or cure you. And the other one, which you just watch and see what happens, okay? They never gave any of the people something that will actually help them. Some years into the study, the researchers convinced local physicians in Macon not to treat the participants, and instead, research was done. Research, not experiments, at the Tuskegee Institute. In order to track the disease at full progression, they provided no effective care as the men died, went blind, or insane for experiencing other health care problems, because of their untreated syphilis. In the mid-1960s, a PHS venereal disease investigator in San Francisco named Peter found out about the study. Still not an experiment, y'all. It's a study. And expressed his concern to his superiors that it was unethical. In response, the officials formed a committee to review the study, but ultimately opt out to continue it with a goal of tracking the participants until they had died. Autopsies were performed and the project data could be analyzed. The T wasn't the first unethical syphilis study. In 2010, President Barack Obama and other federal officials apologized for other U.S. sponsors experiments. See, U.S., that's when they use experiments. Conducted decades early in Guatemala. In that study from 1946 to 1948, nearly 700 men, women, prisoners, soldiers, and mental patients were intentionally infected with syphilis. Hundreds or more people was exposed to other sexually transmitted disease as part of the study without their knowledge or their consent. This is what America was built on. This is what America was built on. Because if you remember in the beginning of it, they were sharecroppers. The majority of them was sharecroppers. They said they ain't never seen a doctor a day of their life, but they lived. And then the doctors coming out, they dying. But they had syphilis. They had syphilis prior. We just here watching. But they old. The participants were primarily sharecroppers. Child. Thank you. I look. Yes, let me see, because they don't want to acknowledge how egregious it was and the fact they knew. Yes. Clinton had the audacity to apologize for the abuse, yet did not atone for it. They won't. And hey, Nunya sis, how you doing? They won't. Child, this made me mad. I ain't gonna hold you. This made me mad. And it's hard to find articles when experimentation was done on Black people in America. It's really hard to find articles that calls it what it is. It is. I ain't gonna hold you. I'm gonna be honest with you. All right, y'all. So I have held y'all for almost an hour and I got to go. I love you guys. Get a candle so you can be a part of the drawing. And I will see you guys later.